Welcome back to the channel, my not forgotten World of Warcraft player, friends and audience. The Gamescom is almost upon us, so even I have to chip in on my predictions for the midnight reveal at Gamescom in Cologne, Germany in just a few days. Today I'll give you my realistic predictions. No BS stuff, no extrapolation, no rehashing of what others said. If they said something similar, I'm telling you, I'm not cross-checking what others have said. These are my mature person's business-orientated thoughts, something that is grounded in reality. I also will offer you a 2-for-1. I will first talk about Midnight, and then I will tell you that I'm excited. About Legion Remix that's coming much sooner than Midnight. So that will be in the second part of the video. Chapters are available as always. Let's jump into my predictions for Midnight reveal in no particular order, my friends. So first of all, everyone is talking about this is the first expansion, fully Metzen expansion, after Chris Metzen has reappeared in World of Warcraft space, which is a good thing. I'm not even going to stop on that. All I'm going to say to you that it's also the first fully Microsoft expansion, isn't it? Or almost fully. Very heavily influenced by Microsoft philosophy, not just by old philosophy of Blizzard. And this is what I meant by saying I will give you a realistic business-oriented spin as opposed to fluffy rainbows and sunshine. So bear with me, okay? So considering that it is Microsoft now, alright, we are going to expect squeezing of the pennies from every little amount of development and testing, QA, effort that can go into development of a software product that World of Warcraft is actually, my friends. It is a product. So it means that a very strong directive from above, from Microsoft overlords on to Chris Metzen, on to the Ewan Hazikostas, on to everyone else, is going to be capitalize on whatever is currently already in the game. And there is a lot of it. Don't develop new. Minimize the amount of actual effort, like man hours, woman hours, if you want me to be inclusive, which I always try to be. So it's kind of like, think about it this way. This is the first expansion where they will be forced to and prioritized, strongly prioritized, to cook from the leftovers of whatever is left in the fridge and in the pantry, rather than justifying to drive to the supermarket to pick up something new and spend more money. Does it make sense? Okay. What it means is that there will be recolors of armor sets, previously available models, reuse, heavy reuse. It already is, you could argue, but there will be more of it. And maybe, if we're lucky, there will be more exploration of skins. Skins are not allied races, in my book anyway. So let's expand on that. Okay. And before you say, Gyro, come on, man, what about a big feature? Well, there is one big feature, and you already know that it's coming, and I can tell you this is one big feature you can expect from this expansion. And it is player housing. Yes, it is player housing. So we already know about player housing. There will be a lot more seen. It's impressive. I'm not saying it's not, but all I'm saying to you is that Microsoft will say to its shareholders, to its board of directors, they'll say that's their big piece of pie. The rest of it can be just sprinkles here and there, but they're getting their player housing. Midnight is a player housing focused expansion, and that's what you can expect, so that you're not disappointed. So beyond what is already known, beyond what other creators have already talked about, I don't want to rehash that information about player housing. What can we expect? We can expect that they will be adding paid stuff. There will obviously be stuff that you can expect. There will be stuff that you unlock in the game as you quest. Sure, that's POVO stuff. That is POVO stuff. And there will be also stuff in the trading post. Sure, trading post rewards you to be subscribed ongoing. So they're trying to create these hooks in the game that will not let me and you go away. So in my humble opinion, player housing becomes the new craze so the player housing is going to replace what used to be the craze for new mount collection and pet collection. That obviously will remain, but it will not be, it's already kind of old news, right? But player housing becomes what that used to be, in my humble opinion. Okay, it's a new, big, fresh feature what you're gonna get. And you will get rewarded by subscribing for 6 months, for 12 months. They will give you something really juicy, like freaking golden roof of your house or some BS like that. I am not interested personally, but you will be, and they will make a ton of money just from that. So paid functions are going to continue happening, okay? Now on to smaller features and general points of what will and what will not happen, in my humble opinion, from the same practical perspective. Okay, somewhat likely, I would say very likely, and somewhat exciting. Okay, is a new profession, and it will be woodworking or carpentry. Because at the moment, at least I'm unaware of it, tell me if I'm missing something, it hasn't been announced, but player housing is announced, all these unlockable things are announced, not to create a profession that would allow you to chop lumber somehow, similar to what we used to do in that battleground that I forgot in Arathi Highlands. Do you remember that one? The PvP one, the big PvE one that I actually somewhat enjoyed. There you needed to collect lumber for your base. It's gonna look similar to that in the game, and I think it absolutely is happening. And if for some reason it's not happening in Midnight, I absolutely am doubling down that this profession is the next big thing to be added in the Last Titan, possibly after Midnight, but maybe, somewhat likely as I said, right now. No new class. I would like one, but no, because it's too expensive to make and too expensive to balance QA wise. Okay, no new class. There will be one. It's not like they will never add one, but I think if before they were adding new class every other expansion, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure I'm right, so like not next expansion but one after, not next expansion but one after, then now I think they're gonna allow 2 expansions in between without a new class, and then there is a new class. That's what I'm thinking, okay? There will be skins, as I mentioned, recolors of existing races, possibly similar to allied races in terms of appearance, similar to Lightforged Draenei, Dark Iron Dwarves. There will be something similar to that. Very little investment in terms of development, comparatively. Of course, it's work, but it's comparatively little investment. And perceivably, a lot of value. So you look at this and you say, wow, I got something. But in fact, you got nothing. You got the same Draenei with white or golden hair. That's it, mate. Now, selected few classes might have an additional spec. This is exciting. If this happens, I'll be excited. I'll tell you, I'm not poo-pooing anything. I'm just being realistic here. You tell me how you feel about it. Additional specs, likely for the classes that didn't have one as a priority, such as Shaman Tank. There have been apparently some also leaks, this and that. I'm not going to speculate on that, but it's very likely I would be excited personally about a Shaman Tank, enhancement Shaman Tank, basically, yeah? And then possibly Demon Hunter, let's say, has only 2 specs right now. I would not be surprised if they add a Demon Hunter healing spec that will look like an Inquisitor, you know, one of those Inquisitor channeling kind of casters, and I would predict that it would be a cauterizer. So before you say, so how would you heal with fell energy, Gyro? Come on, man. Well, first of all, it's magic, so you maybe are able to. And second of all, I think they would be heavily reliant on inflicting fire damage, kind of similar to laser treatment that some people have. It's cauterization. It's basically forcing your skin to regenerate and forcing your other stuff to regenerate through applying magical fell fire. That is my theory. You heard it here first if it happens, okay? Now, on the very likely Void Demon Hunter spec, those leaks, I've seen those things in some other videos. I didn't want to cover them because I'm not properly in the game, so why would I? And only 5 of you will watch these videos anyway. It's likely, yes. However, I don't think it's a spec. I think it's still Demon Hunter, it's still Havoc, it's still Vengeance and Cauterization. But I think the voidiness of it is simply one of those skins that I've been telling you about. It is similar to Fell Fire of the Warlocks. It's similar to how, after doing certain quest lines, Warlocks unlocked green fire as opposed to normal fire. I think it would be similar to that. So it's cool, I want it, but it's not a new spec. It's just how you look on the screen, which still is going to be very, very, very fun. So I am very, very much hoping that they will also, with this in mind, with this Demon Hunter focus, either by adding a spec or simply by giving them a skin, I hope that they will also expand Demon Hunters to other races. I hope that Draenei specifically Draenei should be allowed to be a Demon Hunter. In my humble opinion, nothing is preventing them. Not just like Void Elves. Well, Void Elves are basically, they have to be Demon Hunters. I don't even know why they're not yet. Void Elves becoming Demon Hunters in that voidy skin is like a guarantee. Practically a guarantee. Well, I guess nothing is guaranteed, but it's very, very, very likely, okay? But I hope for other races. I would personally say probably not Tauren and probably not Gnomes, but we've seen Tauren rogues, so everything is possible in this mad game right now. Not a question, not a question. Now, before we talk about Legion Remix very, very quickly, not as long, of course, I will tell you that I'm not even mentioning the fully expected and boring additions, such as new raid, new dungeons and Mythic Plus affixes. Well, you can bet your money on it, right? and new delves. Of course, they're gonna double down on all of that. That is it for Midnight. Now, Legion Remix is coming to us in patch 11.2.5. It just came onto PTR at the moment of recording of this video a couple of days ago, so I'd say we probably are going to get Legion Remix in about a month and a half. That is when it's very likely that I will resume my subscription and you will get a lot of content on World of Warcraft on my channel, especially if you're still watching it. If you're one of my old subscribers, my friends, I appreciate it that I left the game for a while, but it is just me being truthful to myself. I don't pay for the content that I don't particularly enjoy. I have the money to pay for it, but I also have very limited time, and I would rather spend this time elsewhere. So, with that in mind, Legion Remix excites me, man. It excites me. Story, don't care. Artifact weapons reclaimed with infinite magic, similar to what we used to have a cloak in Pandaria Remix, but here we would have an artifact weapon. Perfect, makes sense, awesome. We can infuse them with Fel, Holy Light, Nature, other kind of things that were not previously possible to make them more powerful. Awesome, love it. Jewelry pieces to boost traits, deeping further into Nature, Arcane, other kind of stuff. Awesome. The whole mention of them being inspired by Diablo World tiers and adding this hard mode heroic tier of the outdoor content with better rewards. Great! Once you become uber powerful, there is nothing to do in Pandaria Remix or in Legion Remix for that matter. So now they're giving you kind of a new reason to continue harvesting that content from the open world. Fantastic. Great thinking. Great. Now, the whole new affixes from the old Legion that will be affecting Mythic Plus dungeons. I'm not super excited about that, but you might be. And then the quests, obviously research assignments per day that are giving you some other stuff. Good, very, very good. The fact that they're going to use bronze only for cosmetics and upgrades for yourself, the power upgrades are just going to come from playing the game and from killing stuff in the open world. Great, I think it's also very, very clever. And as far as the other loot is concerned, Fel-infused mounts, legacy rewards such as Xavier's shoulders, yeah, that's cool, but nothing similar to Mage Tower artifacts. Part of me wants people to have access to recolored, not the same. I don't want you to get what I earned with the, with the right color of the skin, either through, original content or through when Werebear form, for example, reappeared in the kind of Legion Fel kind of fire, even though thematically it would fit in perfectly well right now. But I want you and me to get a different color. But I cannot see why they didn't add the Mage Tower artifact appearances. That would have been a gigantic... There is already a big draw to this Legion Remix, but it would have been even a bigger draw. That is my humble opinion. 5 new character slots, and no wait until the end of Remix this time to transfer your character into the game proper, into retail, is a great addition as well. So that's all I think about Midnight Reveal next week. Let's regroup in the comments maybe and see if I was right or wrong on everything. And on Legion Remix, that's definitely when I'm coming into the game. Definitely, whenever it comes. If not earlier, just because I might just get super excited about Midnight next week. That's possible as well. What you could do right now, especially if you watch the whole video, is give this one a quick like so that I know that you're there. That's important to me, so that I know that there are actually people who want this content from me. And also, if you don't mind, let me know very quickly. First of all, if you agree with anything that I said or strongly disagree with anything I said on predictions, and also what would you be most excited about waiting for the reveal of Midnight next week. Alright, my friends, thank you very much for being with me today. I'll talk to you possibly about World of Warcraft, possibly straight after Gamescom, because we will have to regroup at least once more before Legion Remix comes out to talk about how did it all land. Was I right? Was I wrong? Let's figure it out. Thanks for watching. See you next time.